So you're probably wondering what a frozen fossil is. Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. Ice-type fossil Pokemon inspired by Ice Age creatures created for my Fakemon region, the Fyrún region, to fit its Arctic aesthetics. For those of you who are unaware, fossil Pokemon are prehistoric Pokemon that are usually only obtained in the games by reviving items, aka the actual fossils, into living, breathing Pokemon again, Jurassic Park style. These fossil Pokemon are some of the most solid designs in the franchise, with the bulk of them being rock types, essentially representing the fossilization process. However, there are plenty of other Pokemon that aren't actual fossils that still represent several Jurassic or prehistoric species. So that alone is not the only requisite to make a fossil Pokemon. And even the rock typing, which has been the standard till just a couple years ago for several generations, is no longer the norm as well, as Gen 8 decided to switch it up not only with brand new typings and type combinations, but by having 4 fossils instead of the normal 2 that fuse together to make different Chimera-like combinations. I thought this was a cool twist on the formula, so for my own Fakemon region, the Fyrún region, inspired by Iceland and Norse mythology, I decided to switch things up myself and break away from the standard rock typing. Only because Iceland, where the Fyrún region is primarily inspired by, doesn't have any fossil species of its own, given the fact it's so isolated. Which is actually the same reason the Alola region apparently didn't get any fossil Pokemon as well. Because of this, I originally wasn't even gonna make fossil Pokemon for the Fyrún region. But because the Loika region's fossil Pokemon were some of my absolute favorites for the region, I decided I wanted to give it a go after all. But in order to do so, had to somehow make it different, like the Galar region did, and somehow fit the aesthetics of the Fyrún region. So they felt at home there. But given the fact that Iceland is not only known for its harsh winters, but its large glacial caverns and iceberg islands. So I decided to use that as the springboard to make some frozen Ice Age inspired fossils. And I know what you're thinking, I always think of the movie too, which is a perfect example of the Ice Age creatures you would see back in those times. So I actually got the artworks for these fossil Pokemon commissioned almost a year and a half ago at this point, so I am really excited to finally be able to share them with all of you, and I'm actually surprised I haven't spoiled them yet. Friend and artist Fakemans, who I commissioned to do the amazing artwork for the Loika region's fossil Pokemon, despite not actually doing these fossil Pokemon for the Fyrún region, did contribute some amazing artworks for this video as well, as did artists Trainer Matt and Fetty Rex. But I'd like to give a big shout out to the real star of this video, Tubbs AZ, the mastermind behind the iconic Mahava region and New Agros region, as I commissioned him to help bring these cool fossil Fakemon to life. So he did the artwork for these 2 fossil lines featured in this video. So if you like the artworks, please make sure to go support Tubbs and his own projects over on Instagram. You will not regret it. He's not only one of the best Fakemon artists around, but one of the best world builders in the Fakemon community as well. And if you like these Fakemon and this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. And subscribe to my channel for future Fakemon content, or go back and watch some of my previous videos to learn even more about the Fyrún region and all of its Pokemon, which you can also learn more about on my Instagram account at Mykelmon_regions, where I share their full movesets, their stats, their abilities, and plenty more. Anyways, without further ado, let's thaw out these frozen fossils. In the Fyrún region, you'll uncover the Frozen Horn and the Frozen Toe fossil. If you thaw these frozen fossils out and revive them through the same manner as your typical Pokemon fossil, you'll end up with either Sarad or Regoloth. Reviving the Frozen Horn fossil gives you Sarad, the woolly rhino Pokemon, which is an Ice Electric type. Sarad generate and store static electricity in their fluffy wool coat using their horns to discharge it. This cute little fluff ball is inspired by the extinct woolly rhino species, its name being a play on rhinoceros, the tail end of that at least, and rod as in a lightning rod. I wanted to play up its wool and give it a thick winter coat, as the woolly rhino is an extinct creature from the Ice Age known for its fluffy coat, which is where its ice typing comes from, but I'm sure you knew that, given it's a video about frozen fossils. Its electric typing comes into play with this design, with its little lightning bolt shaped rhinoceros horn, which it uses to expel electricity, which once again is stored and generated in its static fur coat, as its dex entry stated. although it's also got little lightning bolt eyebrows to give it some spunk and a spark of personality, as well as a yellow lightning bolt pattern across its body, not only to further convey its electric typing, but help break up its colors a bit. As I felt compositionally speaking, without any yellow in that portion of its body, the design looked a little flat. So this feature, as insignificant as it may seem, really helped bring the design together more. It's nice and cute, but it's fun to note it's actually not a baby rhino, as baby rhinos don't have horns yet, but instead little nubs. So instead this is more of a young rhino, with its horns still growing. Reviving the frozen toe fossil gives you Regoloth, the ground sloth Pokemon. It's called a frozen toe because sloth claws are called toes. Regoloth like digging around in the dirt and snow using their shovel-like toes in search of valuables. And its name is a play on regolith being a rocky layer of soil to reference its ground typing and obviously sloth. This is referenced even further in its design, as Regoloth's coat has what appears to be layers of soil in it, with a mix of earthy colors and shapes. I feel these warmer colors contrast its cooler blues really nicely. I actually spent a lot of time with artist Tubbs AZ throughout the creative process, just testing out a bunch of different colors and color combinations for all of these designs before landing on the final product. And Regoloth especially took the most time out of all these designs, since there is such a stark difference between the warmer and cooler colors in this design. It required matching the saturation and shades of each to find that perfect balance. And being a sloth, I wanted its pose and personality to feel rather relaxed. Its apathetic eyes do a lot of the heavy lifting though. So needless to say, Tubbs killed it. And of course its key features are, its toes are front claws, which look like little shovels, fitting of both its ice and ground typing. And I thought would be a really fun creative way to approach a sloth's claws. This little sloth is just as cute as Sarod, and I wanted these two lines to look similar, each with a nice thick white winter coat tying them together, as well as a shared icy blue color found in both of their designs, but with their own complementary colors being the earthy orangish browns for the Regoloth line, or the electric yellow for the Sarod line, fitting of their secondary types. And both of these Pokemon evolve once more into Rhinome and LETHARIUM. Sarod evolves into Rhinome. Rhinome, once again inspired by the extinct woolly rhino, takes the concept and design elements from its pre-evolution Sarod and cranks them up to full power. It maintains the same color scheme, its fluffy fur coat, and its thunderbolt-shaped rhinoceros horn is of course even bigger, as is the yellow lightning pattern across its side to help break up the white and blues. But since evolving, it's gained a Viking-inspired beard with lightning bolt-shaped braids. While subtle, it's one of my favorite details in this design, as it ties it to the Fyrún Region and its Nordic or Viking themes in a manner that isn't too in your face. This epic beard also helps make it look more aged, like it's really been through the ringer, and toughen it up in comparison to its fluffy and more friend-shaped baby-faced pre-evolution Sarod, who despite its horn, I just want to hug. Whereas Rhinome, I would be a little hesitant to even get near this creature. Rhinome's name is a play on rhino, or once again rhinoceros, and ohm being an electrical term being related to the measure of electrical resistance in a circuit. Thunderstorms are said to follow roaming Rhinome with their large horns acting as lightning conductors. I think it has a totally different personality and look from the Rhyhorn line, which is definitely something I wanted to accomplish with this line. I'm actually surprised we haven't got any other Rhino Pokemon yet. Anyways, this is one powerful Pokemon with a lot of hard-hitting physical attacks at its disposal, such as Wild Charge, Icicle Crash, and Mega Horn. Regoloth evolves into LETHARIUM, based on the giant ground sloth again, but really playing up the giant part this time around as it's a lot bigger in size. Its name, LETHARIUM, is a play on lethargic, fitting of a sloth's lax nature, and the scientific name for the giant ground sloth, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. LETHARIUM loaf around in giant piles of snow, only expelling energy when they are either disturbed or threatened. Its fur coat resembles both layers of soil and snow, like its pre-evolution, with its sloth-like claws still resembling snow shovels as well, but even bigger and more intimidating, as that is my favorite part of these designs, and I wanted to play them up even further. Since evolving, it's even got an extra coat of fur that appears to be an extra layer of snow over top the layer of fur that already looks like soil. These snowy parts are visible along its cuffs and the top of its head, and I think really add to its design and help sell its ice typing, since it's already got all the earthy colors and patterns in the rest of its fur, as well as its shovel-like claws to help sell its ground typing. Well, I guess the shovel claws work for both the ice and the ground typing, but you know what I mean. And since it is a sloth, I really wanted to play up the sloth's lax nature, not only in the name of course, but in its pose and posture, to show what a chill Pokemon it is. Unless you upset it, of course. Then it becomes an absolute monster. While slow as a sloth, this powerful Pokemon can not only take hits, but really land some as well with some hard-hitting attacks like Stone Edge and Earthquake. I chose to do the Woolly Rhino and the Ground Sloth for these Ice Age creatures because I feel like most of the other commonly known ones have already been done before. For example, Mamoswine is already based on the Woolly Mammoth, and even already has the Ice typing, and I also already had a big cat with the Ice typing already in the Fyrún region in the form of Chillings, so I felt to do a saber-toothed tiger with the Ice type would be a bit repetitive. Especially as both of these, being a rhino and a sloth, add something new and very unique to the Fyrún region, in true Pokemon fashion. However, Mamoswine can be found in the Fyrún region, so if you want to make an Ice Age inspired team, you totally could. Both of these fossil Pokemon would be great additions to any Pokemon trainer's team, and after fully evolving, they both even have Forge forms being of the Piercer weapon type. Rhinome's Forge form is a shocking spear, fully utilizing its Thunderbolt-shaped horn. This sharp spear looks like it would cause some real damage, and being that it's an electric type, it can also be used to shock and paralyze foes after striking them. When using electric type attacks, it can even be used as a lightning rod to summon lightning from the sky and hurl it down on your foes, as once again, Forge forms are magical weapons. While LETHARIUM's Forge form is a pickaxe, which is of the Piercer type because it isn't used to cut like most axes, but rather chip away at, excavate, and penetrate like all the other Piercer type weapons. Showcasing and utilizing its shovel-like claws, this Forge form could potentially even be used as a shovel. Not that anyone would really want to use it that way, I'm sure, but you never know. It could come in handy, especially in a snowy region like the Fyrún region. Speaking of which, I'm sure you're probably wondering where and how you get these fossils in the Fyrún region. In the purely conceptual games Pokemon Brain and Pokemon Brawn, taking place in the Fyrún region, these fossils will both be heavily sought after by rival teams Team Brain and Team Brawn, who you and your childhood best friend turned rival will actually both be a part of, as your friendship is tested since you'll be fighting on opposite sides as you are all merely just soldiers in the turf war between the two divine Pokemon you worship, Ilruz and Stormer. So the stakes are a lot higher than you'd think. And in the case of this particular showdown, taking place between both rival teams in one of the region's large glacial caverns, after the smoke settles and you've defeated your rival, you'd get a choice of one of these two fossils, and your rival will graciously take the remaining one. As it becomes clear at this point in your journey that there's still a lot of love between you two, despite your current situation and conflicting beliefs and goals. So this gesture, while small, goes a long way into rebuilding that friendship as you approach the climax of the story. Please feel free to leave a comment down below to let me know which one of these fossil Pokemon is your favorite, or if either of them will have a place on your team in the Fyrún region. Like I said, let me know down below. And if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit that like button, as well as to subscribe to my channel for even more Fakemon content, as I have several exciting projects in the works. Also, please make sure to go follow and support both the artists I commissioned for this video, Tubes_AZ and Fakemons, as they both did an incredible job on these artworks. Thank you both so much for helping to bring my ideas to life. I'm so grateful. Both of their information will be located down in the bio below, including links to their own pages and Fakemon projects. I have a brand new video featuring the Dragon-type Pokemon found in the Fyrún region coming up next weekend, so please stay tuned for that.